Hello, my name is Jesse Gonzalez. I own True Blue Lending, and I've been talking to seniors and financial planners. I've been holding seminars about reverse mortgage for over 10 years. I love reverse mortgage. I have done a number of these for my in-laws. I've seen it save a lot of people, and I've also seen folks use it as a financial planning and a retirement planning tool as well. So I've seen them set it up so that their estate is going to be doing really well years down the line. So I've done previous videos. I promise you, I'm not going to try to sell you on a reverse mortgage. I promise you, okay? But in my previous videos, I've done the basics of a reverse mortgage. I've done pros and cons of a reverse mortgage. So feel free to watch those at your convenience. It'll answer some of the common frequently asked questions about reverse mortgage. So I promised you in one of the other videos that I would talk to you about what you need to do after you do a reverse mortgage. This is something that you have to do in order to make sure that your estate is set up and has the least amount of troubles down the line as possible when you eventually pass away or if you become incapacitated. Now, I haven't seen any other YouTube videos that talk about this. This might be the first. And so I hope that you find it useful and you get some good information. So I'm just going to set the baseline. So when you get a reverse mortgage, a company is going to give you money, or they're going to set aside like a line of credit, okay, that you can access, or there's other ways that you can get your money. But there's a lender that's involved in the very beginning. And then there's somebody that sends you a statement every single month. It could be the original lender. It could be somebody else, all right? Possibly your loan gets sold and the company that did your loan originally is still going to send you this statement. So they are called the servicer. Whoever sends you the monthly statement is called the servicer. Now, that servicer, with this statement that they send you, it's not like a traditional mortgage statement where you're required to make a payment, okay? It actually works opposite. They send you the statement and it says, this is how much money you have available to take. And you could send them a request and they'll actually send you a mortgage payment, or they'll send you money off your line of credit. So very cool stuff. This servicer has a responsibility to whoever actually does hold the paper, where if you pass away or you move out of the property permanently, they need to recuperate the money that was lent to you plus the interest charges that have accrued, okay? Now, I'm not saying that your estate is going to do this, but there have been some families and heirs that will try to get one over on the lender and try to live in the home for as long as possible without paying that loan off. And because of these bad actors, the servicers are forced to file a notice of default against the estate, which is a foreclosure. And that's very scary, okay? People they're like, oh no, a foreclosure. But it's okay because there's time periods that they have to abide by. Their ultimate goal is not to take the property back, because if they take the property back, then they might have to repair it and then list it on the market and let the market decide and pay realtors commissions and all this stuff. When originally all they wanted to do is just recoup their money, okay? So for them, it works better if they work with whoever your estate, whether it be the executor of the estate or a successor trustee. It's in their best interest to work with those folks. Now, nothing that I'm giving you today is legal advice. I'm not an attorney, but I'm going to give you advice as if it were my own reverse mortgage and how I've advised my in-laws in what they would do should they pass away. So all of this to say, your estate, whether you have a trust and that trust identifies somebody that's going to handle the estate for you, or if you die without a trust, right, and now you have an executor that's assigned by the courts, maybe, those people have to work very quickly and they have to contact the servicer. So this is my first tip to you. When you get a statement for your reverse mortgage, put it in your estate planning document so that your heirs, whoever's handling your estate, is going to know, okay, hey, mom or dad, they have a reverse mortgage on this property and we need to satisfy this lien. And I would put a letter in there and I would explain to whoever the person is that's handling your estate that they need to contact this lender as soon as possible upon your death or your incapacitation. And again, it's going to save them a lot of trouble down the line, okay? So if you don't have a trust right now, so if you're just living life and you don't have a trust, you don't have any of your assets in this trust, I highly recommend you speak with an attorney, because a trust can make sure that whatever assets you've accumulated over your life go to who you want them to go to, okay? So call an attorney. Reach out to us. I'm happy to refer some folks to you that are trusted advisors that can help you set up a very simple title holding trust so that your estate can know what to do when you pass away. If you don't have a trust, you're going to rely on the court system to spread your assets to whoever they want to spread your assets to. Maybe you want your house to go to a charity. Maybe you want it to go to your grandkids. Who knows? So without that trust, you're not guaranteeing that your wishes are going to happen upon your death. So put a letter in your trust documents. That's another thing. If you have a trust, you can put a letter right in there. So when they open it up, if you pass away, it's going to say, hey, I've done a reverse mortgage. Now, I would also recommend that this is my second tip, is that you would talk to your family or your heirs and say, hey, I'm just letting you know I've done a reverse mortgage. And when I die, these are the things that you must do in order to make it easy for yourselves. Now, do not carry any stigma if you've done a reverse mortgage. Some people are embarrassed or ashamed of doing a reverse mortgage. You should not be. And I mean it, okay? So if you've done a reverse mortgage and you used it as a last resort tool, that's perfectly okay. It's your home. You have equity in it that you've built over 30 or 40 years, and you chose to use it in the way that you saw fit during your lifetime to make your retirement comfortable. That is absolutely 100% okay, and you're right to do that, okay? Now, if you still don't want to talk to your family and let them know, please put a letter in your estate planning documents that says, I have a reverse mortgage and these are the things that you're going to need to do. Two things very particularly. Your heirs are going to have to send the servicer a certified copy of the death certificate, and they're going to have to send a copy of whatever the document is. Hopefully it's a trust based on you speaking with your attorney, that says, hey, you know what? I have the ability to sell and refinance this property upon the death of the original borrower. And then the servicer is going to work with them so that they give them the time they need to satisfy that lien. Now, they can either refinance it, okay, so pay that reverse mortgage off and with a regular mortgage, and that ownership retains, right? It stays with the trust. Or they could sell the property and take the profits from the sale and then distribute those again as you have instructed in your trust and the way that you want them to be dispersed. Now, what happens is upon that disbursement, right? So you're dispersing those funds out to your heirs. Now they're going to be able to spend that money the way that you see fit for them to do. So one thing to consider with all of this, so if your heirs come in, something to think about, and you have no equity in the property. Let's say you're completely underwater and upside down. Your heirs can simply walk away and they don't have to do anything. And the reason why is because they aren't borrowers on the loan. But even if they were, this is a non-recourse loan, which means that they aren't held personally responsible for any of the debt. So you, as the borrower, it's non-recourse to you. So you could walk away and they can't come after you for any deficiency. Now, in those documents, it says that your heirs can pay off that loan balance at 95% of the home's value. So if they wanted to keep that home in the family and move their family in there and use it for as long as possible, they can do that. They can satisfy that outstanding lien at 95% of the home's value. So that's one of the benefits and one of the reasons why we talk to folks about doing a reverse mortgage. So that's a very important part of this. So it's a non-recourse loan. So you want to make sure that whoever's handling the estate sends a certified copy of the death certificate, sends documentation saying that they are able to do that on behalf of the estate, and or they just walk away, okay? Now, I'm going to prepare you for something, okay? Your heirs, and this happens a lot, okay? You're dealing with folks that might work in a call center. They may need to send the same documents in multiple times, okay? It may get lost on the fax machine. They may need to email it or mail it in. It can be frustrating, okay? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The good news is it's not something that you're dealing with. Your heirs are dealing with it with an asset that you've left them. So if it were me, I'm going to be happy to go through those hoops and the troubles to make sure that the estate is satisfied the way that they want it to be satisfied. So those are the top tips and tricks. After you get a reverse mortgage, make sure you tell your heirs. If you need anything from us at True Blue Lending, or if you have any comments or questions, you know somebody that this happened to, I would love to hear those details. It always helps us get better and helps us prepare folks in the future. And as usual, if you need anything, we are here to help you anytime. Hit us up. Again, my name is Jesse Gonzalez with True Blue Lending.